Welcome, ladies and gents, boys and girls, to another edition of the Man in the Shed podcast. My name is Kirk Ritchie, and I am the Man in the Shed. First things first, I just want to apologise to all of you, my faithful listeners, for not being around for, I think it's nearly a month, so I can only apologise. I've just been manic, in work's been great, family life's been hectic. That's what it's like when you've got three. But it's just been a really good, crazy busy. And yeah, it's kind of just flown by. Days have turned into weeks, and then there we go. So how are we all? I hope we're all well. Big shouts out going to all of the BDO crew, especially to the main man Tom. Big apologies, mate. I can only say sorry that my words of wisdom haven't been with you for a couple of weeks. I want to say a big shout out to the Chepstow crew. Thanks for the love, thanks for the support, and there we go. So today, it's Friday the 21st of April. I have no idea where the year is going. It seems to be going so fast. And I want to talk about the recovery from disappointment, okay? Because I listen to a lot of inspirational quotes. I listen to a lot of inspirational people I say inspirational. They're clips from people that are speaking that I find inspire me, and I've mentioned the Tom Hanks "This Too Shall Pass" clip, where no matter how good it is, that feeling of you're on top of the world, nothing can touch you, this too shall pass. And if you're at the bottom of the pit and you can't see a way out, that feeling, this too shall pass. So don't beat yourself up over it, and just try and, if it's bad, batten down the hatches, and if it's great, be a bit humble. But the reason why this has been debated is my kids' school, every year they do something called the Maiden Bow Mile, where all of the kids have to go and run around and run for a mile. Now that might not seem a lot to a lot of people, but actually for me, that would be a pain. I love running, I love fitness, as you can tell. I'm an athlete, and it's been a bone of contention for me and my family, and fair play to them, because they've always gone, why is it us, why do we need to do it, why are these people making us do this stuff? And of course you try and explain to them that in life you have to do stuff that you don't want to do. You think that me and your mum want to go and work full time. I would be quite happy sitting at home watching Sopranos on repeat, or starting Game of Thrones again. That I wouldn't get bored. When people sort of say, "Oh, what about if you won the lottery? Would you still work?" No. If I won the lottery, I would leave work, and I love my job, but I would be done, and I could quite happily sit there and go to the gym, get a little personal trainer, Stephen Trussell, what's happening, and I guarantee you, I would not get bored. But what the point of it is that the kids have this opinion that life shouldn't be tough, I guess, because they always get told that there's no winners and there's no losers. And I've spoken about this before and stuff like that. So I turn around to our kids, and I heard this somewhere, and it just struck a nerve to me. And I tried to do it this morning, and it didn't quite go to plan, because it ended up with me effing and jeffing, because they just weren't getting what I was saying. But fundamentally, I got them up and I told them to look at themselves in the mirror. And I turned around to them and I said, look in the mirror. I said, so the only thing that's stopping you from doing this is the person that you see in that reflection. Okay, that's it. That is the only person that is stopping you from being the best you can be. Now, I'm not expecting you to go and win the race. I'm not expecting you to go and do it. I'm expecting you to compete. I'm expecting you to give it your all, and then I'm expecting you to just not be disappointed when you cross that finish line or don't cross that finish line, because I know that you haven't given it your all. So what I don't want you to do is, I don't want you in a year's time, 2 years time, 5 years time to sit there and go, oh, what if I did try a little bit harder? I mean, what would come up with this excuse, this blame culture It wasn't me, the ground was too wet, you know what I mean? It wasn't me, the wind was blowing in the right direction. I go back to me and my footballing career, you know what I mean? I fundamentally was never going to go and play professional football, but what if I didn't get all the injuries? You know what I mean? The boy that could have gone on and played pro ball, my brother, what a player he was. But and I'm one of them guys, and I say he was the best football player I think I've ever played with, but he was the laziest trainer, and he didn't give a damn. And I say, what if he did? What if for 10 years he focused on getting fit, keeping fit, training hard, eating the right things? What if he did that? And that's how you try and cope with you being in control of not getting disappointed by things that go on, I guess. And so I had this monologue, and it was like William Shakespeare had written it himself, bless him, good old Bill. And I proper went deep, and I was looking into their eyes, and it goes back to that Any Given Sunday speech that Al Pacino says, you know, and if we don't heal as a team, we're going to die as individuals. And the rousing speech before a game of American football, and I'm there and all that lot, and the tears turn into smiles, and I'm like, brilliant, Dad of the Year, I've really done well. I finish work, and Nanny Wallace has got the kids, and I phone up Daniel thinking that my William Wallace, you know what I mean, for freedom speech would have inspired them to go and win it, and the bloody thing got called off. So I was disappointed, but I don't think they were. But it goes back down to, and I've said it and I will say it again, the way that we deal with failure, the way that we deal with disappointment, the way that we have to put ourselves out of our comfort zone to try and achieve not greatness, but just try and achieve things that might improve our life. And it is tough. It is fundamentally tough. Now, I'm not saying that life's a bed of roses. I'm not saying that everything's perfect. I'm not saying that I don't have my own demons. I'm not saying that I don't have my own disappointments. God, I look at some of the referees that I've been out with this year, and I'm looking at myself going, you're a level 4. You probably can't even spell 4, pal. But I just get on with it, and I then make excuses about, oh, well, I haven't done the fitness test because of this, or I pulled off the promotion. So I'm the worst. And I know I'm the worst, because if there's an issue, if there's a reason why I don't need to get her to do it, you know, I mean, I'm going to be the first to blame someone else, rather than actually looking at myself in the mirror and going, you know what, Mr. Ritchie, you're the reason. You know, and you're the reason why you haven't gone on and become a better referee than what you were. And I think I am a good referee, and the responses and the feedback that I get from all the players, they always normally sort of say, well, I'm ref, you know, best ref all season, unless I'm at Lingfield and I'm getting dug out by the centre midfielder Maestro. He knows who he is. I'm not going to name him. I'm not going to make him famous on my podcast. But yeah, and I think I've got him on Saturday. Yeah, Horsham again. I think it's Horsham Lingfield. So I'll see him tomorrow. But yeah, it's and I know that I need to get myself out of that mindset of, oh, it's someone else's fault. There's a reason why that hasn't gone, and there's a reason why I've not made it up the food chain in football. Yeah, 100%. That reason's me. That excuse, that excuses, that blame culture, that not willing to look at myself in the mirror and go, Mr. Ritchie, even though you are devilishly good looking, you know what I mean? And I do, if you're watching me on YouTube, I'm not going to lie to you, I look good. A little bit of grey in the beard, stubble's on point, hair's on point, I've got the white bins on. But I digress, but it's only me that is not allowing myself to become the best me that I can become. And that needs to change. I need to change. I mean, I need to do my own soul searching, I guess. I need to look at my life and what I'm doing and review it, and then say, right, this is what I can control. This and this. This is what I can't control. But can I influence that? The things that I can't control, is there an element that I can influence, so I can try and claw back a bit of control? So I can try and claw back a little bit of my own destiny from stuff that I can't control. And I think that there are, and I think that we as people, we can do that. I look at my diet, and it's the reason why I'm fat. I work really hard in the gym, but I'm a slob when it comes to food. I love my food. I love it, and I love eating. It's a comfort blanket for me, and I hide behind my eating. But it's also probably the main reason why I haven't progressed in football. And I don't care what anyone says. It's probably a reason why I haven't really progressed in my professional life as well, because I think that there is an element of you want to be seen as the pinnacle, and you want to be seen as somebody who can not just walk the walk and talk the talk, but also look the part as well. And I guess that's an area where I've always sort of been me, and I'm a shorts, flip-flops and t-shirt man. But if I was a 36-inch waist and I could go into any shop and buy a pair of jeans or a nice pair of strides trousers for you youngsters, and they fit and they work with a nice polo shirt or a nice shirt, I don't know, but maybe I would have been a bit more confident in that development of me professionally. That being said, I am what I am. I'm now in a job that I absolutely love and I absolutely adore. Could I do with shifting a little bit of weight? 100%. 110% I could do with shifting a bit of weight, purely for the fact that I know every single day the knees ache a little bit more, the ankles take an extra couple of clicks to click into place before I can put any weight down on it. I know that the warm-ups when I'm running around the football pitches with these young referees are just that 0.1% harder. But it's me again. It's me looking at myself in the mirror and going, you're letting yourself down. You need to be accountable for everything what you do. And I think, I can't remember who it is, they say abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym. And I totally agree with that. But it's that part of being in control of your own destiny, which I am when it comes to my health and my fitness and stuff like that. But more importantly, my kids echo what I do, and I can see that a hell of a lot more now. And they see Dad eating a bag of sweets, they follow that. And obviously they don't, because I take it off of them. But if I was sitting there eating a bag of fruit, if I was sitting there eating, Daniel would, Daniel is the boy who eats so many satsumas that his skin turns orange, and he's a beautiful boy, but the soles of his feet turn orange because he just eats so many satsumas. But if I was there and I was eating satsumas and I was eating bananas and I was eating grapes and I was eating apples and mangoes and melons, and I apologise if I've missed any fruit out, I didn't mean to miss you out. I love all fruit. Would that then have a ripple effect on my kids? Would it have a ripple effect on the way that I am? Yeah, 100%. I know it would. Why don't I make them changes? That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't have the answer for it, because I honestly don't know. I don't know why I eat as poorly as I do. Is it boredom? 100%. I mean, we're organised in this house. When you have a wife who's a project planner, you have to be organised. And when you've got 3 kids who are here, there and everywhere, you have to be organised. So why when it comes to food, I'm an organised chaos when it comes to food, like me personally. And maybe if I was a bit more prepared and a bit more planned, I wouldn't be able to have the excuses. I wouldn't be able to have that blame culture. I wouldn't be able to sort of blame something else. Oh, the trains were delayed, or the traffic coming back from Croydon was horrible. That's the reason why I've just picked up McDonald's. No, mate. No. Take accountability for everything that you're doing and learn from it, and don't have that blame culture of, oh, someone else will help me out, or I work twice as hard at the gym. And now I sit here and I think about it, and I'm thinking, in life, you know what I mean, could I have pushed myself a little bit harder? Yeah, 100%, we all could have done. What were the excuses? Oh, football, this, that. It is what it is. Even me as a coach, as a football coach, my great Oakwood team and helping Super Dan Pearce out at Three Bridges. Big shout out to the Elite Development boys as well. Massive congratulations to Broadbury Chief in getting their promotion as well from the Southern Combination League. Simo and Sean Jarvie and the team done a brilliant job. But now's the time to stop making excuses. Now's the time to start setting in that plan to become a better, healthier, happier person. And it starts with you looking at yourself in the mirror and learning from it and accepting the shortfalls, accepting the shortcomings, and saying, what can I control? What can I influence? Control and influence. There you go. That's where we're at. Control and influence. But it even comes back to this podcast. I mean, I remember starting this podcast because I was in a dark place and I needed to have a voice. And my tone, I listened back to the early podcast, my tone and pitch and delivery is very down, it's very depressing, it's very sad, and I like to think that I've turned around and I am a bit more happy, a bit more jovial, as they say, but a bit more accountable for what I say out there, because I totally understand and appreciate that words are powerful tools. And I mentioned it the last time that I did a podcast for you wonderful people out there, that you write it, you read it, you burn it, and it goes. But flippant comments, little things that people say, they can have a massive ripple effect. And I remember an old manager of mine saying that I didn't look smart enough, and I had a £80 Ralph Lauren jumper on. I think it was a £40 pair of Ralph Lauren chinos I got in a sale, and I'm like, you think I don't look smart enough? But you come back from it and you learn from it, and I got a £20 Fruit of the Loom jumper and elasticated waisted blue chinos that are now ripped on my crutch, so I used to wear them so much. But that is life. The more you wear stuff, the quicker it will wear out, and that's the same with life. The more negative stuff that you hear and you hold on to, and the glass is half empty, you're going to look at life and thinking that it's pretty diabolical and it's pretty poor. But if you look at it and the glass are full and the negatives are bringing you closer to a positive, or like it's a life lesson and you're learning from it and you're developing in, then suddenly a little switch in mindset can really help. But listen, it's easy for me to sit here and say it because I'm in a happy place. You would have spoke to me at the end of the year and I really wasn't in a good place, and it was easy for me to go, oh yeah, do this, do that, but I didn't believe it. I didn't trust myself. I honestly didn't know whether I would keep coming back from it. But do you know what, sometimes, as I've said, put your big boy pants on, start making memories, start living life a little bit, because we are a grain of sand in the speck of time. And I watched Interstellar again last night. What a film Interstellar is. What a film. Great soundtrack. But you don't know when your time's going to be up. You don't know when you won't be able to run around with your kids. You don't know when you're going to lose your memory. You don't know when you're going to lose your thoughts and stuff like that. And we as people need to start controlling that, I think, a bit more, because we need to start making great memories. And Facebook's brilliant for that because it all pops up, and it happened today. And take pictures. Yeah, take pictures again, even if it's on your phone, or go and buy a camera. Sod it, go and buy a camera, because taking pictures, capturing memories, and reliving them memories when you see these pictures pop up. You know what I mean? I've got pictures all around the house. We used to have a hell of a lot more, and we became adults and started to go with adult proper art, I guess. What's his name? Steve Brown. I think it's Steve Brown. Tracy loves that man. But I still keep all of the pictures in the garage, and when I'm tidying it out for like the 77th time in a month, I find these pictures and I smile. I've got a beautiful collage that my old colleagues at CH Publications designed for me for Tracy and I when we got married, and it had a load of different pictures, a load of random pictures of me and Tracy and stuff like that, and they did all of that from Facebook, and I look at that, and then it takes me back to when Frank Archer got us tickets to go to Wimbledon and stuff like that, and the great memories that we had. And we need to make sure that as people, no matter how bad it is, there are going to be good memories, and you need to control that, and you need to, I said it about in the very first one of my very first podcasts about going back and doing things that we did as kids that made us happy, and I bang that drum to every single person I speak to. I do honestly say we need to do it. We need to go back to doing it, and no matter how bad things are, put something in your diary that you're looking forward to. And if you don't have a diary, put something on a calendar that you're really looking forward to. And you never know what's around that corner. You honestly never know what's around that corner. I was listening to Greatest Hits FM, Ken Bruce, legend, and they were obviously doing the money giveaway, something, and this woman won 70 grand. I think it was 70 grand today, and she's been out of work for 10 weeks because her DBS check still hasn't come back. And a phone call, a text, has just changed that woman's life. And it's fair play. You just don't know what's around the corner. So listen, it's great to be back, and I have missed you all, and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long, but I'm going to be more regular, as they say. I'm not drinking prune juice, so keep listening, keep telling your friends, and make sure that if you hate people, you tell them about this podcast as well, so we can annoy them and make them laugh. Before I go, big up Mr. Tim Berrington at FCK Couture. Keep living the dream, keep driving your dream, keep driving your passion, my friend, because you all get there. Big shout out to Roy Hodgson, thanks for coming back and sorting out the Mighty Palace. Yours! And shout out to Adidas. Your football boots, as much as I love them, you need to start investing again in quality football boots. As you can see, if you're on YouTube, I've got a lovely pair of Preds that are just sitting there. But your football boots, the quality of them, it's not as good as they used to be. So let's stop being cheap and start investing a bit in leather, and let's maybe reduce the prices, because you paying £300 for a pair of Predators or £180 for a pair of boots is disgusting. Disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Kirk Ritchie, and I have been the man in the shed. Good night and God bless.